Hey, this is my second WWE review, and for those of you who saw the first one, you'll know that I generally have a review partner, Bobby here, but he's not here today because he studies law at university and law essays wait for no man, so it's just me. I'm a little nervous about flying solo today. I feel a bit like, you know that bit in Wayne's World where Wayne leaves the studio and Garth has to do the entire program himself and just freaks out and makes noises. Yeah, I hope that doesn't happen. But anyway, this is a Raw review for the 16th of March. And I thought this was a really quite good show, actually. I thought this was a good show. I thought it balanced in-ring action with developing storylines really rather well. And it focused on a lot of different storylines and not just the Triple H Orton thing, which I was happy about. It started off with Shawn Michaels' music, which I was a little bit hesitant about because I don't really like Shawn Michaels' promos, and I felt sure that's what we were about to see. I quite like his small promos, but I don't like any kind of sustained promo from him. But then The Undertaker's music played, and I realised it was the advertised tag team match between Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker versus JBL and Kozlov. The face entrances took about 5 minutes here, while the heel entrances took about 30 seconds, which shows what the WWE and indeed the fans think of the four competitors involved. But yeah, this was a surprisingly good match. I say that given the heel team that we've got here, Kozlov and JBL, I did not expect this to be good at all. And this was actually okay. I thought Kozlov is the best I've ever seen him in the ring. Usually his performance is atrocious, but today he looked redeemable. He didn't repeat too many moves. Everything he did looked like it hurt, at least a bit, which is important for Kozlov's offense, and he only did one bear hug, which is, good. But yeah, I thought he looked alright today. I thought he had a surprisingly good day. Anyway, the storyline in this match was that The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels were having troubles, obviously, and The Undertaker was more interested in Shawn Michaels than he was the opponents. Anyway, Shawn Michaels tags him in, The Undertaker has a flurry of offense, he's about to chokeslam JBL, and Michaels just tags his hand, super kicks JBL, and just takes the victory away from The Undertaker. And The Undertaker's furious, because as we know, he is all about the victories. He's very proud of his 16-0 streak. So yeah, he comes in and he tries to attack Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels skids away and The Undertaker starts following up the ramp. And Shawn Michaels is backing away from him, which I didn't really understand because I thought Shawn Michaels was supposed to not be scared of The Undertaker. But yeah, anyway, he hides backstage, The Undertaker turns around, he comes back out, and he super kicks The Undertaker, leaves him lying on the ramp to a big pop in front of his home crowd. And yeah, I really enjoyed the segment. I really thought it furthered that storyline very well, and I thought that it was good that they did it without having to do a promo, which their last promo wasn't good. I don't care what anyone says, it wasn't a good promo. This is what they're all about. They're about their demeanours, they're about being cocky, Shawn Michaels is, and The Undertaker is about being intimidating and eerie, and to be honest, they're better when they just keep their mouths closed, and that's what they did here, and it was good, and I'm glad they did it that way. Next we had a bit with Edge and Vicky, but I'll do that later. Randy Orton, the next bit, a little small interview with Randy Orton. I was glad that the Triple H Orton thing didn't dominate this week's show in the way it has dominated other weeks, because although I agree it's a good angle, it's not the only angle going on, and I'm glad that it didn't play as prominent a part, and also glad that it did play some part. Anyway, Randy Orton said he didn't have Triple H arrested because he was going to get justice for himself at WrestleMania and win the title. And he started to use the phrase, which will never catch on, the law of Orton, which, if any of you watch TNA, is even less convincing than Samoa Joe's Nation of Violence. This is a really bad tagline, but I think they're going to push it, and I just... Anyway, yeah. Next match was the Divas match. It was basically all the heels on Raw. Layla, who I don't think I've ever seen wrestle a match and didn't do any wrestling here. Jillian Hall and Beth Phoenix versus all the faces, Kelly, Mickie James and Melina. This was an okay match. This is not the abomination we've seen on SmackDown for the last few weeks. This was an okay match. I enjoyed it. reasonably. As I said, Layla and Jillian Hall were not in the match at all. This could have been 3-on-1 basically, and Beth Phoenix once again got pinned by Melina with a roll-up. Now, I don't mind the angle in title matches, Melina winning a roll-up, but I'd rather the angle be that, because they clearly are showing the fact she has to win with the roll-up, that Beth is dominant over Melina. But why don't they just let her pin her in non-title matches and tag team matches and just have Melina win in that sort of, sneaky way for the title? I don't get it. If they really want to put the belt on her, I just have the belt on Beth. I think that makes more sense, but yeah, whatever. The best part about this match was that Santino was on the commentary and he called Mickie James a shrumpkin, which is a mixture between a shrimp and a pumpkin, which is entertaining. Next we had Triple H versus Cody Rhodes. Now this legacy angle really isn't working out all that well for Cody Rhodes. I'm sure he thought it was going to be the big push in his career, but it's not really worked out that way. Basically, he gets viciously squashed here twice. Triple H beats him in the ring, and then Orton and DiBiase come out. Well, he's gotten beat, he doesn't actually beat him. And then Triple H starts lowering a steel cage very slowly, and Orton and DiBiase don't know how to counter this action. They don't think to run into the ring in time. So Rhodes is left at Triple H's mercy with the sledgehammer, and Rhodes just gets annihilated here again. And I'm just like, I mean, you're pushing these guys. You want to push Rhodes and DiBiase, right? I think they're rubbish. I don't think they're very good in the ring. They're okay. They're not bad, but they're not brilliant. And on the mic, I don't know how, having parents with such charisma, they ended up so dull, but they're terrible. And but you're pushing these guys, so rather than having Triple H just annihilate them week after week, why don't you make it competitive? I know Triple H has the win, but also I don't like how Triple H seems to have control of this storyline. For me, Orton's the heel, and he's quite a vicious heel, and therefore he should have control of the storyline. It should be him manipulating the events and Triple H being the underdog, but that's just not how it's worked the last few weeks. Anyway, as I said before, I was glad that this angle didn't take over the show, but yeah, it was okay. Then we had Rey Mysterio versus Dolph Ziggler, which is a totally inconsequential match. I know what you're all thinking, and the only reason for this match was to announce that Rey Mysterio challenged JBL for the title at WrestleMania, or the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania, and I don't think anyone wants to see that, to be honest. I think we've seen it before. It wasn't good. Anyway, it was the usual Rey fare here. The bad news about being 178 pounds in the WWE is that even Dolph Ziggler gets to dominate you for a short amount of time. But yeah, usual Rey stuff. Few head scissors, 619, frog splash that didn't look like it hurt very much. He wins the match. I feel Rey Mysterio should be in Money in the Bank. I feel his performances at the last two pay-per-views, lasting 40 minutes in the Rumble, and then brilliant, absolutely brilliant in the Elimination Chamber. I feel he deserves to be in that match and indeed win that match, but he's not, so.